A very good morning to all of you and welcome in our class 12th English, and hope all of you are fine and doing great job. I appreciate once again all the students who are sending me the images of their copies. Well done, most of you have done very nicely. Still, those who have not sent, try to do it, complete your work and send me through the message option in the study bay. Okay, whatever corrections I have mentioned, do make it clear. Number one, all of you are doing one major mistake, that is you are writing somewhere in short forms, which should never be practiced, because once it becomes your habit, you will practice same in your examination. So do not write any short forms. Try to write the answers in a very complete content. Somewhere you try to just take out the contents. So please read your chapters very carefully. Everything is there in your chapters, and there are majority of mistakes in writing skills. You people have done majority mistakes in notice, like institution name and place name should come in same line. So in advertisement also, somewhere you have not drawn boxes, somewhere the heading is not there. So please do take care of it. Still, your work is very good, so I really appreciate your effort, all students, all those who have sent me the images for correction. So today we are going to study a new chapter. In our last video we have studied about a thing of beauty, okay, and so today we are going to study about vistas from the chapter that is our supplementary reader vistas, and we are going to study chapter number 6, On the Face of It by Susan Hill. Okay, this is Vistas and this is class 12 English part 1. This video is part 1. Moreover, this chapter is in a dialogue manner, like two persons are speaking. So you should just take your book along with you, get your pencils and pen and your copy along with you. Your book should be there. Today we will be going in a reading process, because the dialogue is there, first of all, not scenario based actually. So we need to go through what they speak all about. So before moving ahead in our video, just like to quick recap on about our author. So our today's author is Susan Hill, born on February 1942, and just let me check, it's not 42, it's 42. Okay, it's 42. Susan Hill is and she is an English writer. She writes fiction as well as non-fiction. Many of her novels are well known as The Woman in Black, The Mist in the Mirror, I Am the King of the Castle, like this. And in 1971 she won the Somerset Prize for the novel I Am the King of the Castle. And this Susan Hill is well known for her works. She writes about fears, loneliness, honesty, so she explored in that direction. Okay, moreover in 212 she was appointed as a commander in order of the British Empire as an honor to her work in literature on her birthday. Okay, my dear children, so these are the achievements of Susan Hill. And now we are going to look on the theme of our chapter, and the theme of the chapter is fear of being handicapped. Okay, fear of handicap, that is there are two major fear. One of this is, number one is isolation. So these handicaps actually suffer from isolation, and they have second fear, that they will be discarded from the mainstream of the society. Means almost all those people who are handicapped remain in isolation, and due to that isolation they are actually discarded from the mainstream of the society. So our entire chapter is having only two main characters. Number one is Mr. Lamb, and he is an old man. Then number 2 is Derry. He is a 14 years old boy. The most important part of our chapter is that both of the characters, both the main characters are handicapped. Okay, both the main characters are handicapped, and that's why fears of the handicapped is the main theme. What is the feeling of the handicapped personality has been the main theme of our chapter on the face of it. So Mr. Lamb is also handicapped and Derry is also handicapped. Mr. Lamb actually lost his leg in a bomb explosion. He was an army personnel and he lost his leg in a bomb explosion, and now he is having a prosthetic leg. One of his leg has been destroyed in the bomb explosion, and at the same time we see that Derry, the half of the face is actually burnt. How it is burnt? It is burnt through an acid attack, because acid actually fall on its face. So there is a difference in the characters. So the story starts with a different scenario. The story starts from a garden scenario. Before starting the story, I would just like to make you update or aware you about those characters. How they respond or how they look towards life. Okay. So the number one character is Derry. We will look for Derry. He is a 14 years old boy. His face is disfigured and ugly. Okay, why his face is disfigured and ugly? Because the acid spilled on the face. Okay, or rather you can write it as acid attack or acid spilled on the face. He is suffering from, or rather he is having inferiority complex. Okay, he is having inferiority complex, that he is inferior to others, is having the inferiority complex. Moreover, he is very annoyed, the arrogant type of personality. He is arrogant and no social interaction. He does not want to interact with anybody socially. Okay, he does not want to be, he is very arrogant and no social interaction. At the same time, he is having a grudge towards the society. He is having grudge. The grudge means that what has happened with you at in the past, because of that past things, you just don't want to make yourself familiar with at the present. So this is a small introduction of Derry's character. What I am making you to do is study here, that he is 14 years old boy. His face is disfigured. It is really ugly as the acid attack. We have seen many of the acid attack personality. The film is also there. How after the acid attack the face becomes, but he is not a sufferer of acid attack, but it spilled on the face with some incident which has not been mentioned very clearly in the chapter, but his face became ugly or disfigured because the acid spilled on his face. Sorry. He is having an inferiority complex because of that ugly face which was destroyed in an acid, because of this acid. He is having an inferiority complex, and now he has become a very arrogant personality. Anything which you talk good about something, if you talk good about something to Derry, he feels he reacts very badly, rather in arrogant manner, and he does not want to talk anybody. Means he has no social interaction, and he is having a grudge towards the society. He does not want to become familiar in the society because of what has happened. Something has happened in the past with him. So now we are going to study about, I'm just going to give you a small introduction about Mr. Lamb character. The second character in the story is Mr. Lamb. Okay, so Mr. Lamb is old man. He is old man. Number one is he is an old man. Second is he lives in a big house with garden. Okay, he lives in a big house in a garden. He has lost. He is a handicapped. He is handicapped. Lost his leg in the bomb explosion during the war. He grows crab apples. He grows crab apples, and from these crab apples he makes jelly, jams and toffees. Okay, he is optimistic. He is optimistic. He is motivated and having positive attitude. So here we find Mr. Lamb being though an old personality, and he lives in a big garden all alone. He is a handicapped. His leg has been lost in an accident, or rather we can say in a bomb explosion during a war. He was an army personnel. Now he is having a prosthetic leg. Okay, he is having a prosthetic leg which is not the original leg. We all know what is a prosthetic leg. It is made of a different material, and instead of the original leg from the portion where the leg is amputed, it is fixed over there. So he is having the prosthetic leg, and he grows in his garden crab apples, and from that apples, crab apples are literally a little bit sour in taste, and he makes jelly, jams and toffees out of it. He is very optimistic towards the life, means very hopeful, very very hopeful personality. He is a motivator. He always tries to motivate, and he is having a positive attitude. So both the persons, different age groups, but see how they look towards life is totally different. Okay, Mr. Lamb being an old but having a very positive attitude. He is also handicapped. That is also called as handicap when the half of the face is burned with acid, but he is very negative in his attitude. So the scene will start from the area, means the scenario, that is the first chapter. I hope everybody is sitting now with the book, as it is a dialogue portions are there. So much of the thing is in a dialogue between Mr. Lamb and whom Derry. We need to read it, and then only I will be going with the explanation part. So the scene 1 is of Mr. Lamb's garden. I'm reading out to you. Mr. Lamb's garden, and there is occasional sound of bird song, of trees leaves rustling. So we can hear about the bird song over there and tree leaves. Derry's footsteps are heard as he walks slowly and tentatively through the long grasses. He pauses, then walk on again. He comes round and screen on the bushes, so that when Mr. Lamb speaks to him, is close at hand, and Derry is startled. Startled means shocked. So what happened? The number one scene, scenario is of Mr. Lamb's garden, and what happened? Derry find it out to be an empty place. Derry thought that actually it's an empty place. So Derry, being in a very negative attitude, he wants to remain all alone. So he thought that he will walk in towards this empty place, or inside this empty area where nobody lives. So he actually climbed through the wall of the garden, and Mr. Lamb was watching all this thing. And what immediately as he crossed the wall and he came in the garden, Mind the apples. Ooh, what? Who's that? Who's there? And he was shocked as soon as he just jumped inside the garden without he should be noticed by anybody. He from here and there. What happened? Mr. Lamb voice came from the back. Oh, you mind the apples? And he was shocked. Oh my God, who is saying me? Lamb's my name. Mind the apples. Crab apples those are. Wind fall in the long grasses. You could trip. And Mr. Lamb is telling that, oh come on, there are crab apples and you can just fall down when you step on it. So just there are crab apples. I thought this was an empty place. I didn't know there was anybody here. See, Derry wants to enter that particular garden very quietly, the garden was inside the Mr. Lamb's house, and he was actually shocked that Mr. Lamb himself noticed, and Mr. Lamb introduces himself. I am Lamb. Okay, and Derry is giving the explanation. Oh, I thought I just don't want to enter, but I thought it's an empty place, nobody lives here, that's why I came. That's all right, I'm here. Why are you afraid of boy? That's all right. And Mr. Lamb tries to comfort Derry. Okay, doesn't matter, I am here. Okay, fine, don't be afraid. I thought it was an empty house, and Derry keep on giving explanation. Oh, actually I thought means it is an empty house. So it is, since I am out here in the garden. And yes, Mr. Lamb was very, very jolly natured, and he comforted Derry. Okay, it doesn't matter. My house is still empty. You know, you are correct. Because I'm out of the house in the garden. So it's empty. Don't be afraid. Until I go back inside. In the meantime, I'm out here in Likely Stop. A day like this, beautiful day, not a day to be indoor. And Mr. Lamb wants to comfort. That's why in ease he took that Derry has entered in his garden without permission, and he's saying, oh, what a bright day. So it's a pleasant day. I would like to be here in spite I should be indoors. So it's a very good day. And Derry, immediately knowing that this house is not a vacant house, this house is occupied by this person, and this garden also belongs to him. So he immediately said, what he said? I have got to go. Okay, he's saying, I have got to go. Not on my account, I don't mind who comes into the garden. The gate's always open, only you climb the garden wall. And immediately hearing his decision, I am going, I just want to go. Mr. Lamb was not like that. The same way Derry's attitude was like that. Mr. Lamb said, doesn't matter, you came without permission, it doesn't matter me at all. See, I have always kept my gates open. See, my garden gate is open, still over there. You only climbed the wall and came. You could have come through gate also. So he just want to comfort Derry by saying all these words, that Derry should not feel like something he has done wrong. Derry immediately angry. Are you watching me? And this makes really furious, and he becomes angry. Derry, you are watching me, huh? I saw you, but the gate's open. All welcome. You are welcome. I sit here. I like sitting. Mr. Lamb said, see, I always keep my gates open. I welcome everybody who would like to visit my garden. You are also welcome like others. There is no great problem. You can sit here and have a talk. We can have a nice chat. What's the matter in that? I did not come to steal anything. Derry said, see, Mr. whosoever you are, but I didn't came here to steal. Means it's really very, very clear this boy Derry actually found it in an empty space. He thought it is an empty space, so he should go over there because he was actually found of loneliness. Derry was actually found of loneliness, and he just don't want to interact with anybody. And here he had found somebody like Mr. Lamb, who is very interactive personality, but Derry is really sounding very negativity. See, negative. Housing. He's saying, I didn't came here to steal. See, he's giving explanation on explanation. Okay. And what he said? No, no, no. Mr. Lamb is saying, no, no, no. The young lad steal, scrum the apples. You're not so young. He's telling, oh, I'm not telling you like that. You very, very young children, like of 7, 8, 9, 10 years. They used to come in my garden and they used to steal all the things like apples from my garden. Okay, and you are not so young because Derry's age was of 14 years old. I just wanted to come into the garden, and Derry just clearing the purpose of coming, that I just don't came here to steal anything. Mr. Lamb was having a habit. He just immediately revealed that in his garden always young boys used to come and they come for the apples. So Mr. Lamb was having a notion that might Derry have also came for that. But he said, no, I didn't came for your apples, or I didn't came to anything in your garden to steal. But I came here just why? Because I just want to come in. Because Derry thought that it is an empty place, vacant place. Nobody lives here, and he want to live all alone over there. I want to spend some time in loneliness. So you did. Here we are then. You don't know who I am. So Mr. Lamb said, okay, you just want to visit this London. So you came. And now Derry's attitude, see, you don't know who I am. Why you started talking to me? And Mr. Lamb was very, very, he was very calm. He was very relaxed in the attitude. He said, a boy, 13 or so. Mr. Lamb is replying very coolly. That's Derry's question. Do you know who I am? He said, you're a boy of 13 or so. 14. Okay, I'm 14 years old, but I've got to go now. Goodbye. He's telling, okay, I'm 14 years old and I'm going, I don't want to stay here. This attitude of Derry shows that how he does not want to interact with anybody. There was only one person in the garden, that was Mr. Lamb. And he was talking so nicely, he was interacting so nicely with Derry, but Derry's attitude was something like, oh my God. And he said, I'm going garden. He was very blunt in the attitude. Nothing to be afraid of, just garden, just me. And Mr. Lamb is glaring, no need to afraid, boy. You can stay here, we can talk. Okay, it's just a garden. And I am only here. Why are you being afraid of? Derry, see how arrogant he replies. But I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. People are afraid of me. Derry, what he replies very arrogantly when Mr. Lamb says, come on, don't be afraid, stay here, we can help a talk. And he said, oh, I am not afraid of anybody. People are afraid of me. Why people are afraid of you? Mr. Lamb is asking, why should be that? Means why people should be afraid of you? Everyone is that. It doesn't matter who they are or what they say or how they look, how they pretend. I know, I can see that everybody in the world is afraid of me. Whosoever interacts with me is totally afraid of me. See what? What do they think? What do they think then? Means Derry was really frustrated with people's attitude. He clearly told to Mr. Lamb that they try to pretend that they are not afraid of Derry, but they are actually. You think here's a boy, you look at me and then you see at my face and you think, that's bad, that's a terrible thing, that is the ugliest thing I ever saw. You think, poor boy. But I am not poor, Antoinette. You are afraid. Anybody would be, I am. When I look in the mirror, I see that I'm afraid of it. Oh my God, now Derry's negativity towards life, the depression of himself is coming out through his word. What he's telling Mr. Lamb, he's telling that why people are afraid towards from him. He's telling everybody is afraid of me, and he's pointing out his face. Look, this face. Everybody is afraid from me after looking at my face. Okay, somebody, what people think? People, there are two categories. People think that he is ugly or bad, or in other words, other people, what they think? He is a person who should be pitied on. They look him as a pity personality. But in a whole, what Derry says, these people are pretenders. Okay, they are pretenders. and in fact they are afraid of Derry's face, and that's why Derry is also afraid. He's telling himself, in fact I am also afraid. When he is afraid, when he looks himself in the mirror. Okay, when he looks himself in the mirror, he himself get afraid of him. So he says that some people look at me as an ugly personality, as a bad, somebody actually has a pretty personality, but in fact they all pretend that they are really having a pity on me, or I'm a very ugly personality, or having an ugly face. In fact, they're all afraid, and myself, I'm afraid of my face. When I look myself in the mirror, he said, I'm really afraid. You see, my face is so bad. Why? Because Derry's face was burnt by acid, and that's why the burnt face will really be a torture for others. No, not the whole of you, not of you. And Mr. Lamb actually is trying to divert them, and he said, I'm not afraid, he's replying. Yes. He said, yes, you're not afraid. And Mr. Lamb actually divert the conversation into a different direction, and see what here he says. He says, later on when it is a bit cooler, I will get the ladder and a stick and pull down those crab apples. They are ripe for it. I make jelly. It's good time of year, September. Look at them, orange and golden. That's a magic fruit, I often say, but it's best picked and made into jelly. You could give me a hand. Oh my God, the entire conversation was going about the face. Derry is telling that everybody is afraid of me because, see, look at my face. Even I get afraid of myself. And Mr. Lamb is talking, has taken the conversation into a very, very different scenario. What he's telling, oh, come on, you Derry, you just wait. You can give me a helping hand. For what, Mr. Lamb want a helping hand? Oh my God, he's telling, now it's a hot time, but when it will get a little bit cooler, what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring what? Stick plus ladder, and what we are going to do? We are going to pick those crab apples. Okay, he said, and in that you can give me a helping hand. And he said, since it's a very good month. Which month it is there? September. And this month it is ripe. And out of these crab apples he used to make jelly or toffees or something like that. Okay, so these are, he actually termed, Mr. Lamb termed these crab apples as magic fruit, which are orange and golden in color. Now why I'm emphasizing you is Mr. Lamb is, Derry is talking totally in negative mood, and Mr. Lamb is just asking Derry in that particular attitude. He is asking that just wait for a while, when since the things get cooler, temperature gets down, you can just help me for picking these crab apples, and I'm going to actually make the jelly out of it. And this is such a magic fruit. It is it's such look like an orange and golden. So all these things are actually the sign of positivity. Understood? He termed those crab apples as a magic fruit, positive looking attitude on a fruit, saying it like a magic fruit, telling its beautiful characteristics like it's orange and golden in color. So just within a second, Mr. Lamb changed the entire scenario, and what he said, he termed it, he actually started talking in something other direction, and this really irritated what Derry. He really got annoyed. What have you changed the subject for? People always do that. And really Derry became furious. He became annoyed that he said, like other people, you also changed the topic. When I speak of my face, when I start telling about my face, everybody changed the topic, you also did the same. It really annoyed him. Why don't you ask me? Why do you do what they all do and pretend? Is it not true and isn't there? In case I see you looking at mine and get upset, I tell you, don't ask me because you're afraid too. And Derry really, this annoys, because the entire conversation was going on the face, and he took it to the crab apples, Mr. Lamb, and this really irritated him, and he said, oh my God, you are also like other people. They also change your topic and you also change your topic. Why don't you ask me that why and how this happened to me? So it's, oh my God, means Derry concentration. See, he's a 14-year-old boy, and his entire perception or way of thinking is just concentrated towards his face only. He just does not want to talk about anything else. You will just find. And Mr. Lamb said, you want me to ask, so then I don't like being with people, any people. Mr. Lamb said that you want me that I should ask you how it happened, huh? And Derry, I don't want to be with people. I don't want to interact with people. That is again negativity in his life. I should say, to look at it, I should say you got burned in a fire. And Mr. Lamb said, by looking at your face, I could make it out that maybe you have got a severe burns on your face. And that's why your face is like that. Need not to ask, it's just looking. Means it is appearing. Mr. Lamb's way of expression is very clear. Derry, it's already looking that you got a burnt face. You are having a burnt face. Now you want, above all, you want that I should ask you that how it got burnt. I just don't want to ask you. And he said, okay, it might have got burnt. Not in fire. I got acid all down that side of my face, and it burned it all away. It ate my face, it ate me and nuts like this, and it won't be any different. Oh my God. Derry was so agitated from inside. He was having such a burning heart, or rather his spirit was burning. That was it. The words are sounding like that. No, it's not. It has not been burnt in fire. I have not got the burns from fire. It is because of the acid. See, this half face of mine is totally burned because of the acid. It got spilled on my face. It ate my face, and I will never be a different personality. I will be ever like this. Oh my God. Miss Lamb said, no. And Derry said, aren't you interested? And Derry said, aren't you interested in what I'm telling you about me and myself? Mr. Lamb replied, you are a boy who came into the garden. Plenty do. I'm interested in anybody, anything. There's nothing God made that doesn't interest me. Look over there, over beside the far wall. What can you see? And when Derry became really annoyed. He said, aren't you interested in my story? That see how I got a acid burn on my face. He said, it's not like that, my dear boy. I'm interested. Whatever God has created, I'm interested in everything. Mr. Lamb is replying. I am interested in God's creation in each and everything, whether it's living or non-living. I'm interested. And you just came into my garden. But see, my dear boy, Mr. Lamb is pointing towards the wall, and he's asking, see, what do you see beyond it? Again, Derry very furious. We can see how he was furious. He was annoyed. Rather, he was totally full of burning spirit within inside himself. And that was coming through the mouth. That how much he has a pain and torture of that burnt face. But Mr. Lamb want to show him the beauty of the world. What God has created. And Mr. Lamb say, what you can see over there? And Derry see again his answer, rubbish. He's telling you, rubbish? Oh my God. Mr. Lamb said, rubbish? Look, boy, look. What do you see again? Mr. Lamb insisting, oh my God, see, beta, what do you think? And it's just grass and stuff, weeds. It's just grass which is of no use. Weeds means unwanted plant of no use. Means very negative attitudes towards life. His total mental thinking is towards his face only. He is not bothered about any other world things. He is totally, his thinking perception is just centered. He is very self-centered toward the face. And Mr. Lamb wants to divert his mind. He said, you look what you see. He said, rubbish, nothing is there else in grass and weeds and wanted plants. And then Mr. Lamb started explaining. Some call them weeds. If you like, then a weed garden. There's a fruit and there are flowers and trees and herbs, all sorts. But over there, weeds, I grow weeds there. Why is one green growing plant called a weed and another a flower? What's the difference? It's all life, growing, same as you and me. Oh my God, great philosophy of life Mr. Lamb started. He said, oh my God, Daddy, you call that plants weeds? Why it's like that? That one green plant is called as weed, unwanted plant, and other plant is called as a flowering plant, or rather a wanted plant in the garden. Why so? Why there is so much difference when the color is same, when they grow? Even the weed also grow and even the flowering plant also grow. So why we make a difference? He wants to give a lesson, the very first lesson to Derry. Then there is nothing, means handicappedness never brings a difference in our life. That what he wants to convey, but directly Mr. Lamb does not want to convey him. He is teaching through the example. Rather, he is explaining Derry through the example that oh my God, there is nothing, no great difference is there. And he's telling, Lamb is telling, just like you and me, they are growing. Derry, we are not the same. See how rude replies again. We are not the same. Definitely, Derry is a 14 years old boy and Mr. Lamb is a old man. So definitely they are not same, but they are human beings. That is the similarity. Okay, they both are handicapped. That is the similarity. He wants to say, Mr. Lamb say, I am old, you are young, you have got a burn face, I have got a tin leg. Not important, you're standing there, I'm sitting here. What is the difference? And Mr. Lamb says, as soon as Derry talks about difference, he started pointing out difference. Mr. Lamb said, definitely difference is there. You are young, I am old. Your face is burnt. My leg is artificial. It is blown away. Okay. And you are standing over there and I'm sitting, means I could not stand properly for a long time. But that does not make difference, means these things does not matter in life. These are less important. Stop thinking towards it. That is the message he wants to say to Derry. But see Derry attitude. Why have you got a tin leg? And immediately Derry asks, means why you have got an artificial leg? Why you have got a prosthetic leg? Real one got blown away off years back. He said, years back, my real one got blown away. Lammy Lamb sab can say, haven't you heard them? You will Lammy Lamb, it doesn't trouble me. Oh my God, what a great shocking for Derry. Till this time, Derry was not aware that he was actually called as Lammy Lamb and he is having a tin leg. Okay, and he declares, see, I am having an artificial leg. And people call me and they accuse me, or rather as a Lammy Lamb, Lammy Lamb, Lammy Lamb. But see, that also does not trouble me a lot. It does not affect me, he says. Derry says, but you can put the trousers and cover it up and no one sees, they don't have to notice and stare. See, there is explanation. But even though you're having an artificial leg, you can just cover it up. You can wear all the pants and the leg is covered up. So nobody is actually staring like this at your legs. Okay, he's telling like that. Some do, some don't. They get tired of it. In the end, there's plenty of other things to stare at. And Mr. Lamb is explaining, some used to stare, some never bothered, because there are many more other things in the life to do than stare at my leg, than stare at my artificial leg. Okay. Here, Mr. Lamb wants to tell Derry that stop thinking about your handicappedness. Stop it. That I have burn face, I have burn face, I have burn face, and focus your mind to somebody good, something else, and which is very good and positive for your life. That he wants to convey. Derry, like my face. Derry says, people, why they will stare at your leg? Why they are going to stare at your artificial leg? Because it is covered by pant. And they have, when Mr. Lamb says that they have other things to do, yes, they have other things to stare at my face. See, everything he takes in a negative way. Who? Derry. So, Derry said, Mr. Lamb say, like crab apples or the weeds or a spider climbing up silken ladder on my tall sunflowers. He said there are many things, Mr. Lamb saying, like crab apples I grow, like weeds are there, like spiders are there. Means there are much more things for me to do. So you also just think of something else in your life. And what Derry's reply, he is really a frustrated personality. He is not only frustrated, but he is self-centered towards his handicapness of the burnt face. He's telling, they are things. Okay. It's all relative, Beauty and the Beast. Derry say, doesn't matter, Mr. Lamb. They are all things, but we are not things. We are human beings, you know. And it really affects us that how people stare at you, how people look at you, how people talk about you. So, Mr. Lamb says, it's all relative. Okay, Beauty and the Beast. And Mr. Lamb says, no, my dear Derry, everything has a relation. Living thing has a relation with non-living thing. Non-living thing has a relation with living thing. It's not like thing. And just like Beauty and Beast story he is telling, Mr. Lamb is telling, what's that supposed to mean? You tell me. And Derry said, what are you going to tell me? Mr. Lamb again questions, you only know the Beauty and Beast. You have heard something about this. You tell me. You didn't think they haven't told me that fairy story before. It's not what you look like, it's what you are inside. Yes, Derry said, yeah, I know everything. People definitely tells me like that. It's that your appearance, your beauty does not matter a lot. It's how you from inner side, that is your inner beauty is more important. I had heard all about it. Means see, Derry knows everything. Handsome is as handsome does. Means a handsome man is known handsome not by the appearance but by his good deeds. Okay, means everything that he knows what is correct. He said that I've heard people telling that outer beauty does not matter at all. He had heard people telling that a man is called handsome not because of his beauty, not because of his outer appearance. It is because of his good things or good deeds he do. His good beauty or his, we can call his behavior makes him an handsome man. Everything that he knows. Beauty loved the monster beast for himself, and when she kissed him, he changed into a handsome prince. Okay, and then there is a narration of the story of Beauty and Beast, that how a beautiful princess kissed that beast and he became a handsome prince. Only he became a handsome prince when that princess kissed him. Only he haven't stayed a monster beast. I won't change. So Derry at the end again sounding like that negative personality. I know that story of Beauty and Beast, but you know, that beautiful princess kissed that beast and he became a handsome prince. But I am not going to change like that. No, that was a story and this is not a story. This is my real life. I am having a burnt face. And that way, no, you won't. And no one will kiss me ever, only my mother, and she kisses me on the either side of my face, and I don't like mother to kiss me. She does it because she has to do. Why should I like that? I don't care if nobody ever kissed me. And Derry is telling the pain of his heart. He's telling that nobody ever actually has touched the face. Only his mother actually kissed on the other part of the face, which is okay. And that too, she is bound because she's bound with the motherhood responsibility. That I am the son and she is my mother. So nobody will ever do for me. Derry is just pouring out the pain of his heart. See Mr. Lamb, how he's trying to convert him positive. But do you care if you ever kiss them? What? Girls, pretty girls, long hairs and large eyes, people you love, who let me not one? Who could tell? I want to ever look different. And see, Mr. Lamb said, okay, what you said is correct, that your face is very, very ugly. Only your mother kisses you. But don't you like to be get loved by others else than your mother? Don't you like to have girlfriends? Don't you like to be with beautiful girls with long hairs? And daddy, who is going to make me friend? Who is going to allow to come into their life? He was like that. Okay, it's something which can never happen, Mr. Lamb. And Mr. Lamb says, life is unpredictable, my dear. It is not like that. Daddy, I won't look ever different. Again, this boy is so much, my goodness, depressed and frustrated. When I am as old as I look as you, I will look the same. I will still only have a half face. Oh my God. Things are not going to change for me, Miss Lamb. Whatever you say. If I grow up as old as you, like an old personality, my face will be same like this, you know. Things are never going to change for me, he's telling. Okay. So you will, but the world won't. The world got a whole face. The world's there to be looked at. I accept, you are very true. Mr. Lamb said, yes, you are very true that your face is never going to be changed. But my dear, Derry, why are you looking always at your face? Look at the world. Why don't you look at your world? It's so beautiful. And there are many other things you can look upon. So stop looking to your face and look at the world, he's telling. Mr. Lamb is trying to motivate Derry to actually move from negative attitude in his life towards some positivity. Okay, when do you think this is the world, this whole garden? When I'm here, not the only one, but the world is as much as anywhere. And Derry think, oh uncle, do you think your garden is the world and this is so beautiful? Huh? Mr. Lamb said, yes. Wherever you stand is your world and you should look all the positivity around it. That is, he wants to convey Derry. But he says, Derry, see, that is total till now, whatever we have read, we have seen that there is total self-centered thinking on the burnt face and all the things related to that burnt face. People took pity on me. People actually afraid of my ugly face. Nobody actually love me. Nobody will love me. I will never change because my face will be like that. His entire thing is on the face. He does not want to actually open the eyes to look beyond his actually other eyes or other way. He didn't want to think. And now he started thinking of the negative point of Mr. Lamb. Now he is asking, he is not asking Mr. Lamb about the garden, how you manage the garden, why you live all alone in the house, what is your routine. No. From his handicapness, from his disability, his questions are being shifted to Mr. Lamb's disability. He is asking, what is asking? Does your leg hurt you? Then doesn't hurt any boy. When it come off it, certainly. And now I mean where the tin stops at the top now and then in the wet weather, it doesn't signify. Oh, that's something else. They all say, look at all those people who are in pain and brave and never cry and never complain and don't feel sorry for themselves. I haven't said it. Oh my God, from one own's disability, he has shifted his mind to Mr. Lamb's disability. Asking about, did your tin leg hurts? Means you're artificial? No, never. It's a non-living thing. It has no sensation. No, where you fix your artificial leg. Sometimes in some weather. Oh my God. Firstly, he was concentrated towards the face and now he's having concentration on the leg of other. Means total negativity. And there is saying that I have heard people who always talk of these things like, all those people are in pain and brave. Means there are many more people like me who are in sufferings, but they never cry like me. I haven't said that. Mr. Lamb say, I'm not telling you to do like that. And think of all those people worse than you. Think you might have been blinded or born deaf or have to live in wheelchair or be daft in a head and dribble. Oh my God. And he's telling Mr. Lamb that, Mr. Lamb, people used to tell me, come on, Daddy, might you have been born as a blind child or a mental retarded child or your whole life can be on a wheelchair. So the life can be more worse than this time. So Mr. Lamb is replying, and that's all true, and you know it. Oh my God, Mr. Lamb is saying, you know much more things about the life, Derry. That life can be means your life and my life could be in a worse situation. Okay, then this also. It won't make my face change. Do you know, one day a woman went by me in street and I was at a bus stop, and she was with another woman, and she looked at me and she said, whispered, only I heard her, and she said, look at that terrible thing, that's a face only a mother could love. Oh my God. Derry knows all the positivity in the life. He knows that people says that be brave, do not always cry for your suffering, because there are many more people who have worse suffering than you, and just be brave in your life, be positive. He knows everything, but what he's saying ultimately is coming to one point to Mr. Lamb. But Mr. Lamb, that is not going to change my face, you know. Means philosophical talks, all the positivity in the life he has just make a bundle and has thrown in the dustbin. Who? Derry. And he is telling Mr. Lamb that, do you know, one day when I was at bus stop, two women were talking about me. Such a bad face, such a terrible, horrible face. And you know, they were telling, you know, that only mother could love this face, nobody else could love it. So Mr. Lamb was saying, so you believe everything what you hear? He said it was cruel. Mr. Lamb said, okay, what they said is correct. So you believe them. But how they rude were talking. Maybe not as meant as such, just something said between them. Only I heard it. Mr. Lamb is trying to make him settle down. Okay, it was just a thing they were talking about you, na? Daddy, no, I heard with my ears. They were talking that such a horrible face I am having. Huh, see what people talk at my back about me. See, this is all you have heard, Mr. Lamb is telling. And is that only thing you have ever heard? Anyone say in your life? Means this is only you have think you are just panicking because that a woman told that you are having a horrible face. That's why you panic in your life. Oh no, I have heard a lot of things. Daddy is saying, no, I'm not panicking because of that one thing. I heard people saying a lot of things for me in their life. So Mr. Lamb's clear treatment for Derry. He's telling, so now you keep your ears shut. He's telling, oh my boy, why you keep on listening? Huh? Just stop all the negativity to go inside your ears. That is Mr. Lamb wants to say. Keep your ears shut means ignore it. Why you want to listen all those negativity and take and then panic and get frustrated in your life and just go on depressing in your life? Why you take all those such negativity? And hearing about means Mr. Lamb was having a simple solution. Because Daddy shared very important thing. You know how people say at my back how terrible I look. See, and I have heard many more things they are saying about me. Then you shut your ears now. Why you humans listen to them? Why you should ignore it. And this makes him furious. Daddy becomes really furious. Oh my God. You are peculiar. You are strange, he says. You say peculiar things. You ask questions I don't understand. I like to talk, have company. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to stop here. The gate's open. Daddy becomes really frustrated. He said, you are a strange person. You ask such strange questions. And Mr. Lamb said, I am a very talkative person. I love to interact, and that's why you need not to answer my question. If you don't like it, go away. The gate is straight open. Yes, but Daddy is telling, yes, I just want to go. From the beginning, he is telling, I want to go. He has not left yet. Okay, means he wants to interact. Still, he have actually he have decided in his stereotype mind that he does not want to interact. He will not interact with anybody because of the burned face. Okay, Mr. Lamb is telling, I have a hive of bees behind those trees over there. Some hear bees and they say, bees, boss. But when you listen to the bees for a long while, they hum. And hum means sings. I hear them singing my bees. See, Mr. Lamb teaches a very, very important lesson. Rather encourages Derry to look life in a different perspective. He says, I have a hive over there. If you just hear the sound, it will come as buzz, buzz. A broad sound will come from the bees. But if I listen very silently, it's just a hymning, just like a song. It just become a melodious song. So he wants to convey to Derry that Derry, seeing a thing has two different aspects. If you see a thing, like he says, for example, he wants to convey through the bees. That one time, if you listen, the noise of the bees are very irritating. On the other hand, if you want to listen, they are very like a beautiful song. So the sound of bees which bee makes has a two different meaning. It is upon you how you take it. So he wants to teach that life is not always good, it is bitter also. It's how you look on the life. But I like it here. I came in because I like it, and while I looked over the wall, see, first time Derry is admitting that he liked coming here to this garden of Mr. Lamb. If you hadn't seen me, you have not come in. So Mr. Lamb is telling, if you would have seen me, you just have not come in. Because you just came because you thought it's an empty house. No. And he answered again negatively. Mr. Lamb said, no. Derry said, if I entered, he said, it would have been a trespassing. Means if I would have seen you and then I came inside without your permission, that will be called an illegal manner. It will be without a permission. That's not why. Means you could have talk. If you don't want to come inside without permission, you can have a word with me. So simple. Derry, I don't being near people when they stare, when I see them being afraid of me. And very clearly Derry mentioned that he want to be all alone in his own world. Why you want to be all alone? Because he really is scared rather how they look on him. Because all the people stare at his face and really they're afraid, and this really irritates him. So he does not want to interact, rather he does not want to have any social interaction. Okay, Mr. Lamb say you could lock yourself up in a room and never leave it. Mr. Lamb say, okay, you don't want to talk with the people, you don't want to have any social interaction with the people. Why don't you lock yourself in a room? ताला लगा के एक रूम में बंद हो जाओ. Why don't you lock yourself? And then Mr. Lamb narrated a story of such person. See what it has been written. We are just about to close. There was a man who did it. He was afraid, you see, of everything. Everything in this world. A bus might run over him, or a man might breathe deadly germs onto him, or a donkey might kick him to death, or lightning might down on him. He might love a girl who would leave him, and he might slip on a banana and skin and fall, and people who saw him would laugh their heads off. So he went into his room and locked the door and go into the bed and stayed there. When Derry told Mr. Lamb that, see Mr. Lamb, as people are afraid of my burnt face and they keep on staring me and they got afraid of my face, I don't want to interact with people. I don't want to talk to any people. I don't want to be in groups. I don't want to have friends. I don't want to relate myself to anybody, or I just don't get open up. I just want to be in myself. And Mr. Lamb narrated a story by telling him, then you are just like the other person. You should go and lock yourself in a room. That there was a person like you know, he was afraid of what? He was afraid that a bus can run over him. He met an accident, he will die. A donkey can kick him, so he can get injured. Somebody will cough like this, he will get all the germs and he will die. If he would fall in love, the girl will leave him, so he will be again in depression. He might slip on this banana skin. He can die, he will not die, he will fall and people will laugh on him. And might the thunderstorm will come and what happened? He can die. So he was afraid of so many. He was having fear. So that fear you also having, Derry. And that's why that man locked himself in a room. So Mr. Lamb narrated a story to Derry about the fear personality, that fearful personality. Derry said, forever? See, Derry got interested. He started gaining interest in the story. He said, he locked himself forever, Mr. Lamb? For a while. Then what? The picture fell on the wall onto his head and killed him. Derry said, forever, till his life he was in that locked room. And Mr. Lamb said, no, just for a few days. Then what happened, Mr. Lamb? Nothing. He was staying on the bed. There was one great picture above his head on the wall that fell on his head. He died. Simple. And Derry started laughing. He laughed a lot. The simple message Mr. Lamb wants to convey to Derry, that once we have actually taken birth, one day we are going to die. But we should not have that fear that I will do this, then this will happen, I will do. If this fearfulness will be there, then you are not going to survive. This fear is going to eat you, like this fear ate this man. He might have survived for many long years if would have led a normal life. But he was so fearful from an accident, from an animal, or from a thunder lightning storm, or from a girl can leave him. It can be in a depressing state. So that afraid, because of that fear, he locked himself and he died. So anyhow you have to die some or the other day. Either you are going to die by an accident, or by your health problems, or by your natural death. You have to die. Anyway you are going to die. But come on, still till you are alive, you should live your life to the fullest. So my dear children, in this part 1, I am going to stop here at page number 62. Okay, at page number 62, and this year I am just going to stop here till he narrated the story of this man who locked himself in the room. Okay, and you have to do some questions which I am going to give it to you before I leave. Just note down few questions, and they are very, very simple. And the very first question is from your book only, and that is on the page number on page number 56. Read and find out, who is Mr. Lamb and how does Derry get into his garden? Okay, page number 56, only one question is there, that is read and find out. Okay, read and find out. So who is Mr. Lamb? You all know who is Mr. Lamb. Mr. Lamb was an old man who used to live in a big house, growing all the crab apples and making jellies, toffee and jams out of it. And his leg was blown off in the war course. And how did Derry get into his garden? Derry get into his garden by climbing through the wall, not through the gate. Okay, that's so simple. Now few more extra additional questions till the part which we have covered I am going to give you. This is not in your book. Second, how did Mr. Lamb keep himself? How did Mr. Lamb keep himself busy? Keep himself busy when it is a bit cool. When it is a bit cool. So how he used to keep himself busy? He used to bring that stick and the ladder when it is a cooler hours of the day, and then he used to pick those crab apples, and he could make that jellies out of that ripened golden and those oranges type of ripened apples. Okay, so he occupied the time like this. Next question, as told by Mr. Lamb. As told by Mr. Lamb, why did a man lock himself? Why did a man lock himself up in are up in his room, and what happened to him? And what happened to him? So this answer I explained you just in the few just minutes back. I explained you that the man who was having a fear that he just locked himself. Why? What fears? That a bus might run over him, he might be kicked by a donkey, a man can breathe a deadly germs into him, or rather a girl can leave him. If he is fallen in love, he can fall on the banana skin. Like all those entire things you need to write. And what happened to him? He died because that painting, which was a picture, fell on the wall, which a picture fell off the wall, and he died. That is the answer. Now last question, that is the fourth question, which I am going to give you. Note it down, and then we will see the rest of the part in another video. Okay, my dear children. So question number 4. Question number 4 is, how does Derry interpret the fairy tale Beauty and Beast? Beauty and Beast. What does he feel about himself? So my dear children, we were here on question number 4. What does he feel about himself? Okay, what does he feel about himself? So my dear children, the last question is, how does Derry interpret the fairy tale Beauty and Beast? He knows the story of the Beauty and Beast, that the beautiful princess kissed that ugly beast and he turned into a handsome prince. He related it in a manner that only that princess, when she kissed the beast, he turned into a handsome prince, but nobody is ever going to kiss him else than the mother, and even a kiss is not going to change that burnt face. Okay, my dear children, so this will be an appropriate answer. So I hope you understand this thing very well. So look the video very carefully. This time we have gone through the reading because it was a dialogue portion. So do all your work and complete the work on time and do this home assignment. Okay, till we meet next time, have a nice day. Goodbye.